Welcome to the Scouting Report, a series where we go over some rookies or young wrestlers from WWE, whether that's in NXT, Evolve, LFG, or any sort of developmental program, and go over a scouting report for them where we analyze their strengths, their weaknesses, and then we try to figure out a realistic ceiling and realistic floor for them. And who better to start with than Trick Williams, the current TNA World Champion and arguably the face of NXT, at worst one of the top faces of NXT. Now before we get into his stats, let's analyze what we think his long-term potential is, that being his ceiling and his floor. Now this isn't to try and compare him to these wrestlers or to try and analyze how many championships he's going to win. This is more seeing what his role and his position in the company is going to be. And for a ceiling, I've thought of John Cena. Now, before you comment, it's not about him winning 18, 17, 16 world championships, because no, I don't think he's going to do that. But I mean in the comparison that I think he can be a long-term and decade-long, even longer face of the company. Trick really has that once-in-a-generation charisma and that mainstream appeal that can make him a pop culture icon if booked right. That's why I say his absolute ceiling is that of a franchise player in WWE, just like John Cena. And even if that never happens, he still has an extremely high floor, which I consider to be Sheamus. Sheamus to me represents a consistent, long-term, mid-card level talent, hell, main event level talent. He's going to win major championships, be in consistently major feuds, have a few world championship reigns, win results like the Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, but he's never quite gonna be that long-term, consistent champion or franchise player. But just his pure physical presence and talent guarantees that he'll always have a spot at the top of the card. Now obviously there's always a chance that WWE completely fumbles him, but since we're trying to be optimistic and look in an optimistic standpoint, his absolute ceiling is John Cena and his absolute floor should be that of Sheamus. So now we should look at what his strengths and weaknesses are, and naturally we should start with his strengths. So what actually gives him this incredible potential? His strengths are what make him a can't miss prospect. So first up, it's his marketability. Trick has what basically every top star in wrestling needs: stuff you can sell. He has a simple, easy to understand catchphrase in Whoop That Trick, and a memorable finisher in the trick shot. We've seen with guys like Jey Uso how incredibly important it is to have a catchphrase that fans remember, that fans chant. And similar with his finisher, while not anything flashy, it's almost like the RKO where you can really pull it out of anywhere and it looks impactful, so just those two stuff already really helps. And similar to his comparison of John Cena, his moveset is exciting but also very easy to understand. It's not complicated, there's not too many moves, and while some people might not like it, it's very easy to copy, very easy to understand, and along with that he's very athletic and he can constantly add more stuff with him. Another one of his strengths is his incredible versatility. He's proven that he can be incredibly over as a babyface and have a deep connection with the fans. That's what his first championship was all about, and that's what the majority of his NXT reign was. And as of recently, he's proven that he can be very effective as a heel, getting genuine heat from multiple companies in both NXT and TNA. So he's proven that he can lead a company both as a babyface and a heel. And let's not forget, he's also proven his value as a great tag team wrestler with the Trick Mello Gang. While they didn't win championships and it wasn't a very long run as a tag team, it was still very effective. They had a lot of charisma together, they really had a connection. Just proves that he's incredibly versatile as a heel, a babyface, and a tag team wrestler, which would really benefit his long-term potential. And while he's no wrestling veteran, his in-ring work has seen a rapid and continuous improvement. And to tie this segment up, that's all because of his undeniable it factor. He has that natural swagger, that natural charisma that you just can't teach, almost like Jeff Hardy, where you just want to cheer for him. He's very comfortable in the mic and he just oozes that cool factor that you really need for fans to get behind you and just for everybody to want to pay tickets to see you. And it's not just the stuff on the shows that he does. I mean, even on my channel, there's multiple of his famous diss tracks. Well, not famous, but relatively known diss tracks that got really popular in some of the rivalries. Just all combined into that ultimate it factor. Now, no prospect is without their few concerns. And for Trick, they're very specific and nothing too major to really worry about. Some critics and fans have pointed out that his in-ring fundamentals are a potential weakness. While he's incredibly athletic and has this amazing presence, his technical wrestling skills are something, that needs to be developed and kind of behind on some of his peers. This also leads to another point, which is his reliance on his opponents. Some of his best matches came from other wrestlers who are considered far beyond him, such as Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov, two of his most memorable matches. While he's no bad wrestler, that's not what I'm saying at all. He can definitely lead matches on his own. It's just some of his best work comes from very higher tier wrestlers than him. But that still leaves a question, and it's whether he can consistently deliver against lesser skilled opponents, which he's gonna need to do one day. And then finally, some have noted that his overall moveset can feel a bit limited, but as I mentioned earlier, that could be either a strength or a weakness, but I have to put it there because for a lot of people, having a limited moveset, might make matches a bit too predictable. Lastly, let's go over his injury history and see if there's anything there to be concerned about. And honestly, no, this is a very short section, which is a huge positive. Trick has a very clean bill of health. He's never been majorly injured, and his major injuries all come from storylines, such as when he was taken out with the whole feud at the start with Carmelo Hayes. None of his injuries have ever been legit, and he hasn't been sidelined for any major time. While injuries are just part of the game and inevitable, his lack of injuries so far makes him a very reliable asset. Now let's compare him to two wrestlers, not his ceiling and his floor, but physically wrestlers who are good comparisons for him. The first comparison is Batista. This comparison zeroes on his physical presence and his ability to be a believable powerhouse who's still incredibly cool and likable. Batista had that. He was very simple, he had an effective in-ring style, and that just got the job done. He had the charisma, he had a unique look, and the ability to sell any story. That really combines with Trick Williams, and you can really see that comparison come to light. And that's what's going to make them both massive stars, what made Batista a massive star. Similarly, Trick has a great physique and a believable toughness that just allows him to stand out even among some other very talented wrestlers. And the other comparison is very fantastic in my opinion, is Booker T. Just like Booker T, Trick just has that cool factor and that undeniable moveset. He's awesome as a babyface, he's awesome as a heel, and it's just someone you want to see. And just like Booker T, he has this athletic but very smooth style in the ring, an iconic catchphrase, and a distinct persona. It's just going to keep him relevant for a very long time. I feel like that's very relevant to what Trick has showed us. So what do you think? Do you agree with my analysis? Do you think Trick has what it takes to be the next franchise player, or is he just going to be a fumble in the hands of WWE? Let me know in the comments if you feel like that. It will really help out the channel. If you enjoyed this scouting report, please give this video a like and subscribe, and maybe share if you care to do that. And just tune in, because on this channel we're going to do a lot more in-depth wrestling analysis and a lot more scouting reports. So let me know who you'd like to see next. I have a few ideas, but until next time, this is Coach signing off. Goodbye.